So, welcome, thank you for coming. So my name is Julia. I'm from the University of Sheffield, and I'm here to talk to you about STEM. Hopefully you know what that is, but I did ask the good panelists here to change the name just to clarify what that actually means. So STEM in the UK is science, technology, engineering and maths. So without further ado, just a brief overview. So what is STEM, other than what I've just said? Why STEM in the UK in particular, as opposed to going to other countries? The entry requirements and the scholarships, because obviously we know that's the most important thing to you guys right now. And then hopefully some time for question and answers at the end. But before I go into any detail, I want to tell you about Leo. So yes, you want the scholarships and the fees are really high, but we want to make sure that you understand how you can make it as affordable as possible and get the best of all of the opportunities that we have in the UK, so that you're not paying more than you need to and that you get a job at the end, because essentially that's what you're going to university for, apart from a good time as well, obviously. So this is Leo. Why do you want to be like Leo? I want to be like Leo. So Leo came to us from Italy. He got one of our £10,000 scholarships for every year of study. Those good grades meant that he also got an engineering scholarship, which he added to his £10,000 scholarship. So he got £13,000 for every year of study. He wanted to go to Hong Kong for a summer school, and he said, is there any funds available for that? Well, actually, Leo, yes, we have some scholarships for summer schools as well. Hong Kong, off he went with another scholarship from us. Then, because he was studying mechanical engineering, he opted for the year in industry because he knew that year in industry would be vital for making contacts, getting experience, getting paid, and then hopefully getting that crucial graduate level job. So he worked for BMW. They paid him £24,000 for that year. And then he continued his final year at university. And before he'd even graduated, BMW said, Leo, we loved you. You were brilliant. When you graduated, come back. You've got a job at BMW. So not only did he reduce the amount of his tuition fees with all his scholarships, studied abroad, got a year in industry, he got a bachelor degree, a master's degree, a year in industry, a professional chartered engineering status, and walked straight out of university into a job with BMW. We'd all like to be Leo, right, in your own fields? So what I'm going to do is tell you how we can do that. So first of all, why the UK? Apart from the guys, you Cypriots love the UK and the weather. I mean, it's warmer in the UK than Cyprus now, so let's not joke about the weather anymore. We're joking on you guys now. So there's a variety of universities, lots of different sizes and locations. Choose something that matches you. So yes, the scholarships are important, but ultimately you can have a huge scholarship and not be happy there. Make sure it's the course for you, the city for you, the location for you. So industry-led content. I've said it's a professional accreditation, but the facilities and the content of your courses on these STEM programs are actually led by industry leaders. So some of the people, whether they're academics or in professional services in these departments, have been in industry and then come into the university. They know what students need to get before they go into industry. So even our facilities, they come on campus and they say, oh no, that's old. We don't want students learning on that. They won't be prepared for jobs afterwards. So they tell us exactly what equipment we need on the campus as well. We do have great scholarships, so do look out for them. And of course, the year in industry, as I've said, you can be really general or very, very specific within the STEM subjects, and I'll tell you how to do that as well. And you can do just an undergraduate, you can combine it with a postgraduate, you can do combined subjects. We've got guaranteed accommodation in the UK, which is not the same in other countries in the world. You can stay and work afterwards. If you've got a STEM subject, you'll walk straight into a job in the UK. We are short on engineers and doctors. So don't think, oh, am I going to get a job afterwards? Yes, you will. We have exceptional international student support. So we've been having international students for so long in the UK. It's something that we're really good at. And yeah, you guys haven't always been international students, and it's a huge shock. We hate it. We don't like it. But now you are international students. We have that support to give you because we've always done it with all the other students from other countries. We support you in every way that's needed, whether it's academically, mental health, welfare, in your accommodation. There's welfare support throughout all of that at university. And of course, coming to the UK, because the Brits love coming to Cyprus for holidays, it means you can get cheap budget flights all the way over to the UK. helps with the cost overall. So, what is STEM? So I mentioned science, technology, engineering, mathematics. But what are those courses? These are just a few, okay? And within one of these, let me just pick, for example, biology, biosciences. Just within the biosciences, you've got biology, plant and animal sciences, environmental sciences, pure genetics, biotechnology, biochemistry, bioengineering. So in each of these, you've got a huge variety, whether you want something really broad or really specific. And you don't have to choose straight away if you don't want to, if you're not sure. A lot of people chop and change. Within one of these broad subject areas, there is the option of changing slightly, honing in on something specific, or keeping it very broad if you don't know what you want to do. Now, each of these subject areas might be called something slightly different in different universities, so you might not find what you're looking for straight away. You type something in, it doesn't come up, you're looking down an A to Z course list and you think, I'm sure this university should have it. If you can't find it, contact us, because some of us put different subjects in different departments or call it something specific, and that's really based on the academics we have and how we've structured our departments around them. So if you can't find what you want, it doesn't mean we don't have it, just ask us and we'll tell you where it sits and what it's called, okay? Because there is so much in there. So how can you add to your degree? Don't just get a degree, add as much as you can to it. So get your year in industry or study abroad, or both, like Leo did. You could do a full year working in industry and a summer school. You could do a year abroad and a placement over the summer to work. You could do 2 semesters in 2 different countries, studying different countries. So mix and match what you want to get the most experience and as many qualifications within that degree programme as you can. And if you can get a professional qualification in there as well, brilliant, because you're not paying anything additional for it. You're getting an academic degree and a professional qualification. So obviously medicine is a professional qualification, engineering is a professional qualification. What a lot of people don't know is even computer science is a professional qualification. It's chartered. It has professional accreditation in it. So with us, it's within the chartered British Computer Society. Things like psychology, that's a professional qualification. Check with the university to make sure it is. Some universities might have a BA in psychology, or it might be a BSc in psychology, but it might not have the professional qualification in it. So if you want that professional qualification in your degree programme to get a particular job that you have in mind, again, check the website and ask the university, does this contain the qualification I need to go on to the career that I want? So I mentioned integrated masters. This is basically where you can do your bachelor degree, your undergraduate degree, and then you continue for 1 more year, and it means you also have a master's. So you don't have to graduate and then reapply for a master's and then graduate again. You could, it's more hassle, and if you apply for 1 year master's in a STEM subject in the UK, that 1 year master's is going to be much more expensive on its own than if you just continued and did that 1 extra year as part of an integrated programme. So it's more economical, it's less hassle. Why would you not do it? You don't have to. So if you apply for an integrated master's programme and it's 4 or 5 years long and you decide after 3 years, oh, I've done enough of studying, I'm poor, I want to get a job and I want to earn some money, you can graduate. As long as you've completed your bachelor degree, you can graduate after 3 or 4 years. You don't have to continue on to it. But if you have selected that course, it's locked it in, you've got that guaranteed progression, and it means you've got more qualifications. So, a bit more about that. This is how they would look when you see them listed. If you're looking at course titles, whether it's in our prospectus or online, you'll see a Bachelor of Science is a B, Bachelor of Science. If it's a master's, bachelor and master's together, that would be M-Chem for chemistry or M-Phys for physics. So if you do want to do the integrated masters to have both qualifications in long, make sure that you select the course that begins with the M rather than the B. And within the UCAS system, to apply to the UK, each of those courses has a different code. So you have to make sure you're putting the correct code into UCAS. If you have made a mistake or you change your mind afterwards and you've only applied for the bachelor degree, contact the university, because often we can make that change and add on and swap you straight onto the master's instead. Some of them, as I've said, you could start the course and change afterwards. Some of our graduates don't even know until maybe year 2 or year 3. If they're progressing well, their grades are good, and they decide, actually, I do want to stay for that extra year. As long as there is availability, we can help you continue to do that. There is always going to be flexibility, because there will be those people who've said they want to do it and then don't. So there's always flexibility for you to be able to change that. So some of the universities like Sheffield, strong in STEM, and we have not just leading alumni, but also Nobel Prize winners. So these are our Nobel Prize winners at Sheffield. Most of them are in chemistry, some chem phys, some biochem. So look at the qualified people who've come out of the universities you're applying to. You could be number 7 if you came to Sheffield. You never know. You could be the next Nobel Prize winner. So look at the quality in the particular subject that you're wanting to go in to do. But apart from the Nobel Prize winners, we also have, so for example at Sheffield, I don't know if anyone's heard of Helen Sharman. She's the first UK astronaut into space and the first female from Western Europe. She's a Sheffield alumni. So we literally send our students into space. So if you're interested in astrophysics or aerospace, that's literally what we do. She did it. She's one of our alumni. We also offer world-class facilities. So this is something that's really key to UK universities. I already mentioned to you that industry partners will come onto campus and tell us what we need to have in those facilities. But we put billions of pounds into these facilities to make sure you've got those hands-on experience, so that when you graduate and you go out into your job, you know what you're doing with that equipment. The company and industry, they don't want to be teaching you with that. They expect you to have learned that at university, not just knowing how to use it, knowing what you would use it for, having confidence with the equipment, and even knowing different variations of that type of equipment. So have a look at the facilities we've got on campuses. A lot of us will have virtual tours. We would always recommend to come over and visit a campus if you can in your school holidays, because you can have a look around the facilities, get toured around by one of our student ambassadors to ask questions. But if you don't have the time, can't fit that in, 360 virtual tours. We've all got them. Have a look around at the facilities. This is one example that we have in Sheffield. So this is called the Diamond and is an engineering building. It's a state-of-the-art, sustainable and award-winning engineering building. So this building collects rainwater on the roof, filters it, and we drink it inside. When you walk in, it counts people in and out. It measures the temperature inside and outside and adjusts it accordingly. So that's why it's sustainable. But within there, we've got 19 specialist labs, which can hold up to 80 students at a time, including researchers and academics who might be doing something in one area while students are being taught or practicing, doing group work in other areas. So it's a really huge space. And within there, we've got some really niche areas. So because we're an aerospace university, along with all the other engineering, we have things like the aerospace simulation and propulsion labs, augmented reality, robot arenas, fluid and thermal dynamics for the mechanics. Triple E is our abbreviation for electronic and electrical engineering, because we always get tongue-tied, so we just call it Triple E. And chemical and bioengineering. But it's really interdisciplinary. All of these types of programs overlap each other. So if you think cars, we've got driverless cars. They've got artificial intelligence in. What's next? Flying car, magnet underneath, what's going to be the future of Formula One. All of these engineers are working together. So they're not all separated and hidden away. They do projects together. And within there, it's also a learning space. So there are computer areas, there are sound booths, all sorts of different areas for different types of learning styles. We understand everyone has a different style of learning. Some people like noisy environments, some people need to be shut away to be able to concentrate with no noise. So on campus, we provide all these different types of learning spaces and environments for different types of learners. And this building, because it has a lot of computer spaces, you can walk in and it tells you how many computers are free and which room it's in. So you're not wandering around wasting time looking for a free computer. It says, oh, there are 3 in there, it's in that room, go. We want to save you as much time as possible. Look at the companies that universities work with. So I said we have industry partners who will come onto campus to help advise with equipment, but they also are there for research partnerships. They're there for your year in industry. And then we, of course, more importantly, have those companies who are there to offer you those graduate jobs. So look at the types of companies that universities are working with. So this is an example of what we have specifically in Sheffield. We build planes and cars. We can't do that right in the city centre, but just on the outside of the city centre, this is where we work with these top companies. And next to that, we also have the McLaren Automotive Partnership. And this is what we're building next, because why stop with just 2 big centres? So this is our latest one. So again, look at the different universities you're applying to. Look at what they have that's connected to the type of science, technology, medicine, whatever it is that you're wanting to study, and what facilities and partnerships they have that you can profit from during your time and when you've graduated. But don't just stay in the UK. Yes, come and study in the UK, but you don't have to stay there. The facilities and opportunities that we can give you are not just based in Sheffield, in the UK. I mean, we've sent one of them into space already. Okay, I've joked about the weather, but seriously, if you want to be an astrophysicist, you can't really see the stars like that from the UK on an average day. So we have a partnership in Tenerife where you can go out to the observatory there. I don't know if any of you have been to the Canary Islands, but the Milky Way from there is just incredible. So we want to make sure you get the best opportunity. You're not going to get it in the UK to see the stars, so we send you somewhere that you can. Does anyone recognise this? Come on, STEM students, you should know what that is. I'm not a STEM student. It's the CERN Hadron Collider. So we are a CERN member. If you're interested in physics, aerospace, nuclear energy, look at the universities that are partners of CERN. So we have lab technicians, we have academics, not necessarily going out there, some of them do, but some of them are actually repairing parts or making new parts to send out there. But we do actually have people that go out and work and train there as well. Have a look at the headlines at each university. Russell Group universities in the UK are leading in their fields. So whatever field it is that you're wanting to go in, have a look at what they're researching now. Have a look at what the headline news is. Is it curing Parkinson's? Is it something on gravitational waves? Have a look and see what the headline news is in those universities you're thinking of applying to. Because it's those academics and those project groups that are going to feed down even to your year 1 undergraduate studies. And have a look at the companies we've worked for, as I said, with employability. So these companies, as I said, they're not just coming onto campus to check the facilities, they're coming on to mentor you. We hold education fairs, just like this, employability fairs, just like this education fair, but they also come on and train you with psychometric testing, CV workshops, interview techniques. They'll mentor, and our alumni who are in these companies will come back and train you through so that you can see their journey. It becomes more tangible. So have a look at the types of companies that come and work with the universities. And all the super curricular activities. So we used to call them extra, but now they're more than extra. Now they're super for some reason. But have a look at those types of opportunities. So you can get involved in these things, even if it's not in your academic field. So there are students who are in the Formula student team, for example, that aren't doing mechanics, but they're doing something. It could be an AI student. Like I said, we're combining all of these different types of science and engineering. So there are lots of clubs and societies and extra super curricular activities that you can do that are either connected to your field of study, or they could be in a different department, but you've seen it and thought, wow, I want to be involved in that. So find out about them, chat to your friends, go and talk to different areas of the university and see what opportunities there are. But these are the things, not only are they fun, you're going to make more friends, but they're giving you those experiences that you can use in interviews and building the confidence to do so. We've also got things like the Mars Avalon ROV, that's obviously aerospace, but our astrophysicists, who aren't necessarily going up into space, will be working with them because they're saying, I want something that goes in a spaceship, that goes up to space, that's going to collect this for me, whether it's data, whether it's actual materials. So they'll work with them, telling them what they want to do, what they need it to do. And then we have things like Epigenesis. This is a company that was set up by students as a computer science aid, basically. If you need your mobile phone fixing, laptop fixing, you can go there. But they also design systems and have projects that industries come in, like Siemens, for example. They'll say, we need something that does this, or we're looking for a new system that does X, Y, and Z for a particular company. And they'll come in and say to the university students, okay, this is what we want you to design, go. And Alan Sugar, they'll create something, go pitch it, and then, as you'll see, there's another one, engineering, you're hired. So lots of opportunities, whether it's individually or in a team, to work together with those industry partners and gain really valuable experience. Outside that, all of your clubs and societies. So you've probably heard about the social life, all the activities that there are, all the different sports that are competitive or for fun. As I said, it doesn't have to be related to your subject. That would help, it's extra additional information, but you can do completely different things to balance that and get friends and academic experiences in a wide range of things that aren't necessarily just connected to your field of study. Hopefully, you should be concerned about sustainability, and it's something to us which is key in all areas, not just in STEM. You would do a sustainability module in any course that you chose at Sheffield, but it really is key in STEM. You guys hopefully will be the ones that will find the most sustainable way to do things, whether it's within medicine, whether it's technology, whether it's power. So have a look at how that is embedded into those courses and opportunities that you can do. Within any subject area that you have in the UK, we're going to help you to find that graduate level job. So whether it's through that year in industry, whether it's from the mentoring from those that come through, or it's just the people that we have on campus helping you, we have a university-wide careers and employability, but we also have specific ones in each of your departments. So if you want something specific in one particular field, you have an employability hub in your school or department that has those contacts specifically in those industries. So all that support is there available for you. But there are other ways that you can gain all of that information and experience through things like the paid placements, the volunteering opportunities. Okay, it's not going to pay you, but it's giving you experience. It feels good if you're volunteering, and also building your confidence in that particular area as well. And then, of course, part-time work. Part-time work could be because you want to earn more money as a social activity, or because you want to gain valuable experience that you can add to your CV to sell yourself to those employers afterwards. So where do you find all these different STEMs? As I said, we might call them different things in different universities, but usually they would sit within engineering, health, or sciences. But as I said, if you can't find something, ask us. So this is an overview of sciences at Sheffield, all the very generic or very specific subjects that we have within the biosciences, chemistry, physics, medicine, dentistry and health, psychology, and mathematics. So as you can see on there, there are things which are very broad, but there are some which are really specific as well. Some of them have the professional qualifications, and some of them are the more theoretical ones if you think you might want to go into research rather than a professional field. So I have mentioned about these. You should, with your qualifications from a school in Cyprus, be able to go directly onto an undergraduate at year one. But if for some reason you haven't taken the subjects that you need in the maths and the science subjects, or you've completely changed direction and thought you want to do something completely different, you could do a foundation year. It's not ideal, obviously, because it's an extra year at an extra cost, but there is that there for you if you change your mind and don't have what you need from your school qualifications. Hopefully, with the advice from us, by coming to things like this, you should just be able to go straight onto your bachelor degree, and that's where you will decide, okay, is it one subject or two? And do I do just the bachelor's, or, as I mentioned to you before, the integrated master's option? So that's where you're looking at the courses that begin with the M rather than the B. If you're wanting to qualify in psychology, the undergraduate programs should have psychology profession in them, which means that you actually have experience with people. You may find a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology or Psychology and Sociology. That's not likely to be the professional one. So you would then have to do a master's with psychology conversion. If it's a psychology course that has the professional accreditation in it in the undergraduate, like at Sheffield, you could then do a master's in a specialised area. Is it criminal psychology, child psychology, sports psychology, music psychology, business psychology? The AI and psychology is now one that's coming up. So think about what you might want to do to really specialise if you want to have either a research area or a professional qualification. And decide if you're adding that year in industry or study abroad. Within engineering, I've said they're interdisciplinary. You'll find, again, they might be called something slightly different or structured differently in different universities. So this is just an example to show you how we do it at Sheffield. But you can specialise in one particular type of engineering or an area that overlaps. So the interdisciplinary programs you see at the bottom, as I've said, aerospace, bioengineering and MEng engineering are areas where you're going to get an overlap of those different types of engineers who want to do projects together and build on something to create what is the next area of engineering. There's also the option to have a general engineering. If you haven't decided what you want to do, or you're maybe deciding between 2 or 3 different areas of engineering, you can do a little bit of everything in the first year. That's not available at most universities. So general engineering, a little bit of everything, and then in year 2 you go, okay, actually I want to do aerospace. You choose which one you want to do, and then you continue that for the rest of the years. I get a lot of students to me wherever I go that say, I want to do industrial engineering management, or I want to do product design. And what most people don't realise is that when you come to the UK, we're much more niche than that. As you see, there's so many different areas. So your product design and your industrial management will be in any engineering. You just need to decide which one of those. So all of those engineering options, you'll get a year in industry, if that's what you want to do. And you'll have product design. It just, what product do you want to design? So you're going to get the product design, the 3D design, the industrial year within any of those that you choose. So we don't just have a course that's called product design or industrial management, because it's in all of those. Your typical entry requirements, obviously you're going to need your maths and your science subjects. So most of us will accept a Politarian. We will accept it on its own, but we can also use it in combination with other subjects. So if you're doing the Apollitarian and A-levels or IB, we can mix and match them as long as overall you've got the overall academic grade that we require and the maths and science subjects specific to the course that you want to go on to. And those specific subjects can be either in the Apollitarian or in the IB or A-levels. So if you've met all of the requirements with your Apollitarian, that's the result that you get first. You can switch off and have a summer holiday. The A-level results don't come till August. We don't need those if you've got them in your Apollitarian. However, if you haven't quite met the requirements with your Apollitarian, then we would wait for your IB and A-level results. So we'll basically take the best grades out of all of those, of whichever you're doing, give you the best possible outcome from all of them. Make sure that you can get onto it. So always check with each university those individual subjects in the maths and sciences that you need, and if it's higher, if you want to do the integrated masters. So you will find for some universities where it's really competitive that choosing that M masters extra year instead of just the bachelor degree, the entry requirements might be slightly higher. So just double check with them all. English language, this is a contentious one in Cyprus. But I have a British passport. Well, I have a British passport, but I still had to do my English GCSE to go to university. Everybody needs an English qualification to go to university, no matter what your nationality. So it's which English qualification? If you've got a British passport, your English language qualification may be slightly more flexible with each university. Each university is basically trusted by the UK Home Office as to which qualifications we accept. But there is a list which we have to stick to. So if you have a British passport, we may be able to be a little bit more flexible. If you don't have a British passport, then there is a strict list that we have to stick to. And those are things like the IGCSE, but it must include speaking and listening. Standard level IB, A-level English, but you don't need as high as A-level if you've got the IGCSE. Some universities will still accept English in the Apollitarian, but do check with them because, again, it's one of those we've had to become a bit more strict on. And do check the levels. So there is a minimum for university and for your visa if you don't have a British passport. It's usually between like an IELTS 6 or 6.5, but there are certain subjects, English, obviously, medicine, law, that would need a higher level of English. So do check, because they're not all the same. medicine and dentistry. This is a fun one. You want to take a picture of this one if you haven't already been to see me and scan the QR code, because it takes a whole extra year. There is one exam that you have to do online called the UCAT, and this is the same for every UK medical school, so this isn't specific to Sheffield. So if you're wanting to come in 2025, sorry, too late. You'd now be applying for 2026. And you have to do the UCAT score in the summer before you do your final high school exams. There's a really short window between May and September when you take that exam. That UCAT exam, you can create an account online, practice. Hopefully if you practice, you see your scores getting higher and higher. It's a mix between academic skills, psychometric testing, seeing how your brain works. But in that score, you want to be getting as high as you can. And I don't just mean in your school, in Cyprus, in Europe, I mean in the world. Because of all the students globally that want to come to med school in the UK, we have to select that top slice. If somebody's doing brain surgery on you, we want the best people to be brain surgery on us, right? So we're only going to take the best. We need more doctors, but we still need them to be a certain standard. So you need to be getting as high as you can in that score. When you get that score, it will say, congratulations, here's your score. You can now apply to this list of universities. And those are the only universities you can apply to with that particular score. If you have got that score, you apply by October before, so that's a whole year in advance. And if the university is interested, we will invite you to an interview. It's an interview where we will grill you. You need work experience and volunteering. We want to know about your personality. Are you strong enough to work in hospitals in the UK, psychologically as well as mentally and academically? You need to understand things like the NHS constitution. They'll ask you ethical questions. So if you're interested in medicine, I hope that you know that the UK recently had a vote on euthanasia. It may be that when you're studying medicine in the UK, before or after you've graduated, it may be that in UK law, euthanasia becomes legal and you can assist people dying. Are you happy to do that? If not, you might want to think about not being in the UK. But then it could become legal in other countries as well. So ethical things, patient confidentiality. Where are the hospitals? Because they will ask you that as well. Where are the hospitals? Which one has a helipad? They will look at your personality profiling from your work experience and volunteering. Time work, team skills, communication. These are key in any job that you go into, but they are critical. If you are going to be working in a hospital from year one and you're running around in accident and emergency, your English level needs to be really high. You need to be able to cope with stress and pressure and have those key communication and teamwork skills. So that's what they want to see in the application from your work experience and from the interview process. Everybody wants to know about scholarships. So hopefully you've been asking about all the scholarships today, finding out about the terms and conditions. Check all of the terms and conditions. So some of us have automatic or guaranteed, but what does that actually mean? Is it just for the first year? Is it for every year? Is it only if you get a certain grade? Is it only if you're a certain nationality? So check all the terms and conditions of what we mean by automatic or guaranteed. And double check, if you can't find something specific, ask us. So some of us will have general scholarships for everybody. Some might be for a specific course. Some might have a general one that you can add to a course scholarship and add it together and then you get even more. If you can't see those, ask about them because they are there. Pounds versus percentage. So some of us might be saying, oh, you can have 50% off, and someone might say you can have £5,000. Well, how can you measure that? You don't know unless you know how much the tuition fees are, and we all have different tuition fees. So just do those calculations and see how that weighs up. Can they be combined? Is it just the first year? And are we bribing you? So at Sheffield, we don't bribe you. Some universities will say, you can have this scholarship, but only if you pick us as your firm choice in UCAS. But we don't do that. We don't think that's ethical. We understand that if you don't get our scholarship, you might not come. And that's fine, that's our loss. We would rather be ethical and not bribe you. So again, check those terms and conditions. It's rare to find the scholarships for dentistry and medicine. There are a few. The British Council actually have scholarships listed on their web pages. So if you don't know where they are and you haven't seen them, then double check and find that link because they do share that information on their web pages. So I mentioned Leo at the beginning. These are two more examples. These are our student ambassadors. We've got more than this, but I picked these two for an obvious reason. They're from Cyprus. So we have got more than this. We don't just have two Cypriot students at Sheffield, but these are our international student ambassadors. Chat to them online. Find out what they think about studying at a university. They'll be the ones that give you campus tours if you come over and visit. They're there chatting on web pages. It's not just Sheffield. Other universities do this as well. We pay them. So if you chat to them online, you're helping pay for their studies. And hopefully in return, when you come, you can be a student ambassador and we'll pay you to talk to the next lot that come through. But they'll be the ones that you can chat. You can filter by country, you can filter by course. Find somebody maybe that's come back from their year in industry, that's in year 3 or 4, and ask them who they worked for, how much they got paid, have they been offered a graduate job yet? What clubs and societies have you been in? Did you get a scholarship? How much? Why? What did you have to do to get that scholarship? They're there online. Filter, find them. If they're not live online, send them a message. When they're online, they'll start chatting. As soon as they start chatting back to you, they're getting paid. So it's pay, it's good for your references, for your work experience, and it's ad hoc, so you can pick and choose that. It's not a set timetable where you have to work these hours. You can do it as and when you want, so it's really flexible around your studies. Just to end with, a final overview of Sheffield. So some of our key points, you might not know where it is. You might have come for a STEM presentation and not be interested in Sheffield and have no idea at all where it is, but there it is, right in the centre of the UK. So really convenient for all the transport links, just an hour from Manchester, an hour and a half to 2 hours from London to St Pancras, straight down to St Pancras. You're on the Eurostar if you want to go to Paris or Amsterdam. We are a world top 100 university, but seeing as how you're here for a STEM presentation, it's key that you look at our QS rankings for individual subject areas. So individual areas within our sciences, architecture, engineering subjects, they are QS top ranking as well. But they are crossed across all those different subject areas in 21 schools. Apart from the academic side of things, I mentioned the clubs and societies. But if you don't know anything about Sheffield, apart from talking to the students to find out, we are University of the Year, Best for Student Life. We have the best students' union in the UK, voted for by students for over 15 years now. Come and find out where and chat to the students. I've mentioned sustainability, so we are proud with our net zero targets. I showed you a picture of the diamond in our sustainable buildings. We've got more like that. We have a building that's coated in a special, I don't know, I'm not a STEM graduate, so excuse me here, but it's coated in a special fabric that soaks up the carbon emissions that are picked up on the traffic going past on the main road. So many of our buildings are sustainable, apart from the fact that obviously we're just doing general things like recycling. We're trying to find loads of different ways on campus that we can help cut those carbon emissions. I told you about the scholarships, so we do have general ones, we have subject-specific ones that can be added together. You'll get paid really well for a year in industry. And we are a top 20 for UK employers as well. So it's UK graduates. I mean, you know this is why you're here. Companies around the world, they see a UK graduate and they know it's not just the standard of the academic degree, it's all these things that I've explained to you about, making you a really employable graduate because you've got the hands-on experience with state-of-the-art technology, because industries have come in and spoken to you and trained you in exactly what you need to be doing, because you've had a year experience, because you've had a study abroad experience. All of those things are what make UK graduates the most employable, and so the companies will directly come into the universities and say, right, we need 20 graduates. Sometimes it's not even in the same field. We have engineers that go into banking and finance. It's the transferable skills sometimes, and not just directly that one academic field that the employers are looking for. So build all of that together around your academic subject, not just to make sure that you're happy with your own welfare, but that you're getting as much as you can for as little as you can, so that you can then start earning as much as you can as quickly as possible. That's what you're looking at. So don't just think, okay, this is ranked #1 in the world, or these have the biggest scholarships. Look at everything, read everything carefully, weigh up and measure everything carefully. It is a future investment, but if you're investing in it, it is thinking about, okay, how quickly can I earn more money? Put all that together. So if you want my details, my email address is at the bottom there. All universities obviously are on social media, whether it's our students, whether it's people like me. We're always doing webinars, so have a look at subject taster sessions that we're doing, specific webinars, student and alumni panels so that you can have a live Q&A with them. or just chat to them online, like I said, find them and talk to them. You'll find a lot of them will come home in the school holidays and drop into schools as well and have a chat. So ask your teachers, are any of the students from this school, have they got a scholarship from the UK? Which university? Are they coming back to talk to us? Can you arrange that for us? Because they like doing that. And sometimes we pay them to do that as well. We're not going to pay them for their flights because they're coming home to see their family, but we might pay them to come in and talk to a school. And that could be something that you then do to help fund your studies as well. So I hope that's been useful. There is a lot of information, but obviously we do have everything on our web pages. We're all QR crazy, technology. We are here to answer questions, so I hope you've got as much out today as possible. But our jobs basically are to answer those questions. So after today, if you need to get in touch with any of us, you might have met some of the agents that we work with today who are based here in Cyprus or our alumni. But our job is to be there for you to get the answers to those questions. We might be travelling around, but you can hear my phone pinging behind me. That'll be other students putting questions and people travelling around. But we want to make sure you've got those answers. So after today, we're still available for you. If you've got any questions, you can email us, WhatsApp us, contact us through QR codes, whatever communication channels you've been given by people today, use them, because we want to make sure you've got the answers to your questions so that you can come, hopefully have a successful graduation and get that graduate job and start earning as much money as you can. So if you've got any specific questions, there's only a few of you here, which is great, so I'm quite happy to stay around for a certain